you mentioned, in a historic decision from President-elect Trump naming that first female White House chief of staff. And as the president-elect picks out his cabinet, he'll have a Republican Senate to work with.
Smooth, calm, professional transition.
The federal government prepares for changes as President-elect Trump readies his team for Inauguration Day, January 20th. Susie Wiles will take over as White House Chief of Staff, the first woman to the position in history. And Republicans are on track to control Congress, winning the Senate and inching closer to taking the House. Total control would be a win for the GOP for any cabinet appointments and Supreme Court pick if necessary. What the president cannot control, the Federal Reserve's monetary policy. President-elect Trump mused about firing Fed Chair Jerome Powell, or even bringing the Fed under control of the executive branch.
Some of the president-elect's advisors have suggested that you should resign. If he asked you to leave, would you go?
No. Do you believe the president has the power to fire or demote you, and has the Fed determined the legality of a president demoting at will any of the other governors with leadership positions?
Not permitted under the law.
Trump is reportedly considering these three names for Secretary of State: former National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien, Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, and former Ambassador to Germany Rick Grinnell, which would also be historic as he would be the first openly gay Secretary of State. As for Secretary of Defense, Trump is reported to be looking at Congressman Mike Waltz of Florida and former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Trump has said once he takes office, he wants to start the largest mass deportation program of people who are in this country illegally, starting with convicted criminals. But there's resistance in California to a new Trump administration. Governor Gavin Newsom called a special session to begin next month in an effort to form a plan around Trump's proposed deportations. Returning President Trump shot back on Truth Social about Newsom, quote, Trump-proofing California, saying in part, people are being forced to leave due to his and others' insane policy decisions, like ridiculously rerouting millions of gallons of water a day from the north out into the Pacific Ocean rather than using it free of charge for the towns, cities, and farms dotted all throughout California. They're making it impossible to build a reasonably priced car. The unchecked and unbalanced homeless catastrophe, the cost of everything, in particular groceries, is out of control. Federally, the transfer of power is promised to be peaceful. We know President Biden invited Trump to the White House for a meeting. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said there's no date set for that yet, but they would share more once something is locked in. In the studio, Samantha Cortese, back to you.